Hello. Does it work?
Yes.
Okay. There is a very, very good joke, about the guy giving a lecture and having the one guy only in front. And then the lecturer actually asks, uh, uh, after half a lecture maybe, like, I'm giving this lecture, only to you. Can you really tell me the reason why you are only alone here and you are still sitting? And the guy says, I'm the next speaker. So, but it's not the case. And now I see that the crowd is coming. Okay, hi once again. Thank you, organizers, for inviting me. Hello, colleagues from Latvia. I know you are the next. We will support you. So I'm presenting today Lithuanian Fintech ecosystem. My name is Andrius Mamontovas. By profession, I'm a lawyer. Let me just find it out. Okay, but anyway, you are contemporary people and you may Google me in the internet. So this slide should say that there is also another person that is called Andrius and that has a son named Mamontovas, and he is a super famous singer in Lithuania. So don't get confused. I'm sorry, but due to technical difficulties, you cannot see the appearance of him. But just be aware that I'm an advocate, I'm a lawyer, I'm a serious guy, not so much involved in the arts, but in life I have a lot of funny stories. So I can get basically anywhere without any, additional effort. Just I say who I am, and that very, very much helps me in life. On the other hand, of course, I can never do mad things because people remember me. So this is maybe the funny background about me, but going to serious things, I'm actually managing a local law firm that is based in Vilnius. I work in a business area for 20 years. I basically worked almost in any field, real estate, commercial things, transactions, bankruptcies, corporate matters, litigation, and I'm now heavily involved actually in the regulatory sector and do quite a lot of stuff with Fintech. So this is basically the reason why I'm here. But me and my team actually, we are working on very many legal areas and have let's say 20 years of experience almost each. So basically, this is who I am, and let me now talk about Lithuania. Maybe not so many people of you actually know it, but we are this red dot on the map. We are near the Baltic Sea. We have great neighbors. On top, it's Latvia. On top of it is Estonia, and we are basically, let's say, geographical center of Europe. So we are very Eurocentristic. We have very beautiful old town, one of the oldest actually in the region. We are actually very, very rapidly developing. We have very green, very nice and green space. We are third globally for availability of digital and technological skills. We are also third in the world in terms of internet and communication regulations, and we are very strong in cybersecurity. So actually we are a technological country, and slides will show on that more, but we are very, very friendly environment just for doing the business. We, I believe, are 20 times smaller than Istanbul. You can easily go on foot almost everywhere. You can use scooters, you can use really friendly infrastructure. So it's really the best place in Europe to live. And we actually have 4 seasons. We have winter, we have summer, we have autumn, and we have spring. So that's important to note, because if you decide to move yourself or your people to a country, you actually want to just understand how it works. Because in my life, I have spent some years in Finland, which is a great country, but only if you spend this light part of a year there. And if after 15 years coming back home, you still turn on the light, no matter is it day or time, I mean, it does make some impact. So Lithuania will make only good impact for you. And of course, if you are cold there in winter, you can go to Turkey. And this is maybe the biggest bond if we talk about Lithuania as a country. 10% of our population every year go to Turkey, which is a really strong bond from our end. And my mission today actually is to make the bond stronger from your end. And what are my takeaways from Turkey? I mean, you are a super service-centristic country. We just had a, perfect breakfast, and I just finished my cup of tea, and the guy in a second comes and pours it in, you know. So this is actually hospitality, which I think is in your genes, but I think it's a huge advantage, because the more north you go to Europe, the more pragmatic you become, and there is less of this very warm human touch. And I think I'm a lawyer, I'm a service provider, I usually deal with people. I think this is the key thing for the future. Artificial intelligence, it will make the hard part of the work, but the soft skills is very important. And the way Turkish people sell, the way they interact, the way they show that you are important to them, I think it's really a service that you can export to the world. And of course to the fintech community, which is usually very robust, you know, very technical. They want the solution to be right there, but it's also important to ensure a really smooth service. So this is where I see actually you as the guys who can contribute to the fintech culture, and not only in Lithuania, but in Europe and of course globally. Going to some other facts, Vilnius by some guys is usually actually chosen for movie shooting. So we had one of the famous movie scenes of Chernobyl being made in Vilnius, Lithuania. Then, of course, I mean, food is important. Our food is a bit different from yours. It's not maybe so diverse, but there are two things that you have to know about our food. So it is a cepelinai, which is right here. They are basically potato and meat mix. And the other funny thing is a pink soup, you know. Unfortunately, we were a kingdom very, very long time ago, but we have a lot of princesses. For instance, I have 3 princesses in my house, you know, so pink color is really in my genes. And I think our ancestors also thinking about princesses invented a very, very nice beetroot soup, which is called, and it's called šaltibarščiai, and we have many crazy things about it. So, I mean, don't get scared. Try it. It's a little bit mixture of iron and beetroot, so it tastes good. It refreshes in the summer. So when you come, please try it. And of course, after you try it, you are sober, but you can still participate in some crazy festivals where they cover the hills by pink rubber, and they do the downhill, you know, in some crazy soap stuff. So that is to say that actually. That is to say that apart from this, you know, there is a saying actually, do you do your job for your living, or you live for your job? So in Lithuania, we are very, very hard workers, but it is important to also have some funny things. So I started with the funny things by actually willing to emphasize that we not only work, we are hardworking guys, but we value the balance of work and the balance of fun and the balance of life. But when it goes to work, actually, we are really, really workaholics. So I think we wanted to prove historically to the world that we are something, and I think we have really done it successfully. I don't know how many of you know, but Lithuania is the country that actually broke down the Soviet Union. So, I mean, I think, to my mind, it is really the biggest historic event for the last, 100 years, geopolitically. And there was one leader, Vytautas Landsbergis, who actually made this happen. So we are a volcano, actually, in the European and world history. But going to fintech things, actually, we've done quite a lot in this area. And we have a great infrastructure. We have a lot of really, really good things. So from the infrastructure point of view, we are actually a part of the European Union, and we have a window to the European market. So whenever you come to Europe, if you end up in Lithuania, or as well as in any other EU country, you have a window for the market of 27 countries, which I think is really, really important. We are a very, very young country in terms of we regained independence in 1990s. So we actually build a lot of things from scratch, which means that we are small and we are very, very eager to do business easily. We have a lot of digital stuff. There are a lot of things that actually you can establish company without really going out. So just to give an example, my sister, she works with mortgages. 20 years ago, if you wanted to get a mortgage, you had to go physically to 21 place just to do it. Now you don't need to really, do anything else apart from your smartphone. So this is where we are actually. And it relates to private sector, and it also relates to public sector. So our digital structure and infrastructure is actually very, very strong. And since our curve was really very, very steep, we have a lot of highly skilled guys working there. We have a super client-friendly, although strict central bank, which gives a good reputation from jurisdiction point of view, meaning that if you get a license in Lithuania, you already have a green badge and you can go effectively to other markets. And last thing to emphasize, I think we are still cost effective. We are really, really trying to do the most out of the people and the legal environment we have. So we try to reduce costs to the minimum. I don't know why it doesn't work. Okay. So now, but that was a bit general, of course. If you go into the details, so you see a little bit of data about how Lithuania is performing in terms of fintech. So we are the largest fintech hub in the EU by fintech licenses issued. So this is the advantage that people took actually from our country. They got into Lithuania, they got licensed, and they now can service all the European Union from Lithuania. We are 9th globally amongst the lowest risk jurisdictions that I told you. So our central bank is really strict, supervising hard, and it gives a lot of lessons, and market adapts, and we are better and better and better in AML solutions. 27 million EU customers are serviced by the fintechs that are also licensed in Lithuania. So that's a huge amount of clients, because Lithuania has only 2.7 million residents. So we service 10 times more than it is in our country. And we are third in the EU by the crowdfunding licenses issued. I have personally taken a lot of action in that area. The crowdfunding started in Lithuania, I think, and in Latvia almost at the same time. So we have a super mega star in Latvia, which is Mintos, which is the biggest crowdfunding platform. But in difference to Latvia, we actually built a lot of legislation around it locally at that time. And now when European crowdfunding regulation entered into force, we are basically the guys who have the biggest amount of licenses, because our regulator is smooth in doing the licensing work. And again, it opens opportunities to be present in all the European Union. So crowdfunding is really also one of the, let's say, key features of Lithuanian regulatory system. When you look at the growth of our Lithuanian fintechs, so you will see a lot of really, really famous names, such as TransferGo, such as Ondato, and the CEO of Ondato is here, Liudas. So you please have a really chat if you want to get this real human experience, how it is, because I'm talking as a service provider. Liudas deals with a lot of minor things every day. So if you really want to get a grasp, just take his hand, chat. If you want, visit Ondato corner, and guys will really, really assist you. We have Revolut, which is, I'm impressed. I think it's the best service provider in terms of financial services. I adore using it. It's so simple. And whenever you use it actually and compare it to your bank, it's like day and night difference. And these guys also choose Lithuania. So we have also many other guys, as you see, coming, and the number of really strong and sound fintechs is 276 now. And it is increasing every year. So that's the curve, and of course that's thanks to the really, really good and sound fintech environment that we have in our country. But we shall not talk only about Europe because fintech is global. So we actually also a global home for a lot of worldwide fintechs. And then on the map you can see that 43% of fintechs with headquarters outside of Lithuania, we have basically a presence in Lithuania. So I mean, for me it is really an impressive number. And we also have an advantage of having a very, very close links with UK. As you know, after Brexit, UK has exited the European Union, but this market is very, very interesting for them. So a lot of UK companies, they know Lithuania for our goodwill, and they also try to build the bridge from their market and from their global connections to Lithuania and to the whole European Union. So me as a lawyer, I frequently advise UK companies how to do it better. Is it better to acquire a company? Is it better to license it? So basically, we actually are a small dot in the map, but we are really, really a significant player and able to assist you to scale your business as well if you decide to come. When we go to maybe let's say concrete things, what is this fintech? Because I talked quite generally up to now. So for me, I think we are super strong in payments, and it is 33%. Then our guys are super strong in financial software development, because when you have so many market players, you develop products for them all the time. Blockchain actually is really now on the hype, and I personally represent the Axiology company that is going to tokenize securities on the EU level. So it's a very, very specific and encouraging step from the European Union actually to open the gates for tokenized securities in the whole Europe. And we are the guys who want to really build it on the blockchain. And I think honestly that this will be the bridge. This will, tokens will translate in human minds the understanding of crypto. Then time goes by, and it will be just one unique sector ran on Web3 and blockchain. So of course, as I mentioned, we have the biggest number of electronic money institution and payment institution licenses issued in the European Union. And the MiCA regulation now is coming. So basically starting with the mid of this year, people can start licensing under MiCA and start trading in crypto assets. Our regulator has postponed it until the end of the year, but that only means that we are actually preparing for MiCA very seriously, because currently in Lithuania we have 600 crypto asset service providers. Not all of them are sound, not all of them are strong, but some of them will definitely remain in Lithuania, because our regulator is the most experienced regulator in Europe in licensing of e-money institutions. And a lot of things under MiCA are similar to the e-money activities. Just a layer on top will be developed, you know. So I really think that we will have a say in MiCA, and I hope that we will be able to connect a lot of products, for instance, electronic e-money tokens that can already be issued and used as a settlement method. So I hope that our electronic money institutions, they will use the really MiCA environment and will scale. So these are the sectors in which I think we are strongest currently. What are business functions are carried out by fintechs in Lithuania? So basically, you know, there is a front end and there is a back end. So compliance, fraud, risk management is one of the main back office functions that is carried out by companies in Lithuania. Then second is IT and data management, and the third on top is actually internal technical support. So we are pretty strong as a back office Some 5-7 years ago, our country has also started a journey by attracting big international finance companies such as banks, and other service providers to Lithuania that have developed the teams, that have paid a lot of money just to teach the staff. And now some of these players have left the country, but the staff remains. So we are really in a good position to service and to provide basically back office assistance. And of course, one of the main things in front office functions is the customer support and business development and sales. So that's also what you can count on, and that's maybe one of the areas where, let's say, Turkey, having these soft things that I mentioned in the beginning, could actually provide and benefit from a synergy. So that's maybe also a slide on talent pool. So we, as I mentioned, we have only 2.7 million people, but we have really strong talent pool in Lithuania, and this is just shows the growth by demonstrating that there is a huge potential. And I can just, back it up also by my saying, in services industry, what you need is a smart people on which you can rely. If you don't have smart people, if you don't have talent, I mean, you are really suffering a lot because you have to do a lot of things by yourself. So talent-wise, I think we are also on the right path, and 92% of currently operating fintechs, they intend to hire next year. So I believe that this number shall grow on a yearly basis. Diversity, it's a long-term debate, in our community as well, that fintechs are mainly dominated by male. But I mean, as we grow older, as we become smarter, we find a lot of synergies between different genders, and there is a trend in Lithuania, and I'm very, very happy with it, that the amount of women actually in the fintech sector and in any other sectors is increasing all the time. And I think there are really strong leaders. I'm really happy with the feature we have. Women are usually much more outspoken, so they are visible on the market, and Europe taught us that diversity is important, and I fully subscribe for it. So I think in this sector we are also on a good path in terms of how many women work in the sector, how many executives we have, and tech sometimes is seen as a very male-oriented profession, but our reality shows that it is not. Women are as good as men, and sometimes better. So we are very open, I mean, to all of you. And what else? 88% of the staff are under 45 years. I'm happy that I'm still under 45 and qualify, for this one. There are really these highlights and good things that I told you, but we are humans, we are flesh and bones, and sometimes we face problems. So if you see, for instance, from 2020 to 2023, what we have fundings. So in 2020, we have 15 million of funds raised for local fintechs. And then in 21, it was 65. Then it was 67. And in 2023, it was only 5.5. So, I mean, sometimes you have these kind of, drop downs in the sector. I think that maybe the market was a little bit on the hype, and the funding actually decreased. But to my mind, it correlates to general unwillingness of financial sector players to finance businesses. We had dramatic fall in the banking finances in Lithuania recently. But what did it do? It opened actually gates for other players. So we have 11 crowdfunding licenses, and some of the guys that started this business, and it really looked like a hobby, I mean, they are now serious players. They do really volumes of financing on monthly basis. Having said this also, I would like to maybe attract your attention to the fact that we have a lot of business angel networks, and we have some governmental initiatives that actually pump the money to boost the fintech sector. And they have pretty favorable conditions for the investors to invest. For instance, if they invest together with you, they expect 5 or 8% of return on the investment. And after they get the return back, all the remaining markup remains to you. So we have actually quite nice incentives for the investors to invest together with governmental agencies. And this is why I think this number 5.5 will be very, very different this year. Because apart from that, as I told, we are part of the European Union, and we are actually receiving a lot of European Union financing programs. So at least 2 programs in which I participated last year was one basically for robotization and automatization processes, and the other one was for artificial intelligence. So we tried to apply it in law. We launched 2 startup companies, and each of them can receive the grant, but in total the funding is roughly about 30 million. So the number of 5.5, I think it will be very, very different, you know, this year. What to expect in 2024? So challenges and opportunities, you know. Still the biggest challenge, I think, remains with regulatory environment and compliance, because like MiCA is a 150-page document, and then you have implementing standards. So it's really hell a lot of work to cope with it. And our regulator, as I told, is very strict. So that's how market perceives it. They consider that regulatory things will be really the biggest challenge. Economic conditions, as I told, there was a drop in financing, so I fully buy it that there is a, you know, there is a tension, let's say, because startups, they usually need some time to reach the break-even, so that stress is also reflected here. Geopolitical situation in the region is something that we maybe think about, but we don't talk about very loudly. The geopolitical situation, I think it relates to war in Ukraine. We support Ukraine heavily, but it seems that also there is a lot of in the heads of startuppers relating to this geopolitical situation. So that would be top 3 picks maybe. And what are the opportunities? So number 1 is payments. Payments, and I would say that it is in light of coming MiCA and in light of e-money tokens. Then compliance and regulatory is also a lot of work because new documents are coming in. And digital banking, I think, is also one of these things that our EMIs and payment institutions are seriously considering, because we have a facilitated regime. If you want to in Lithuania, you can establish a specialized bank, which is also an exception in the whole Europe. You have to have a pretty small capital, and you can have a bank. It requires about a year to go through the process, but there is a possibility. So now there is a trend that a lot of guys who have actually attracted, you know, financing, who do very well the business, who have a lot of clients, they want to become banks just to attract the funds more easily and basically increase the competition. So these would be maybe 3 key things. That's it from now. That's it from me. There is a more extensive fintech landscape report, which you can you know, see on the web. It provides a little bit more details than I told you. And please be aware that this presentation was prepared with assistance of Invest Lithuania. And it is really a governmental agency that you can write any question if you want to enter Lithuanian market. So thank you very, very much for being patient, for listening. And enjoy the event.